Hello everyone and welcome to the latest video. So I've been using this Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra for almost 2 weeks now, and in that time I've discovered a load of useful and cool features that I want to share with all of you. So today I'll be counting down 10 of the best features of the Samsung Galaxy S23 series. Starting with number 1, we have reverse wireless charging, also known as wireless power sharing. I can take things such as my Galaxy Buds Pro and charge them with my old phone, the Galaxy S20 Plus. I found that you had to be very precise, especially with the Galaxy Watch when you're trying to reverse wireless charge it. However, on the Galaxy S23 Ultra, in my experience, it is much more forgiving with the placement, which makes this feature a lot more handy. Now the next feature is actually exclusive to the S23 lineup of phones, although it's also available on some of their tablets too. They announced it at the latest Galaxy Unpacked event, and it's something which, if I could use it, I would definitely use all the time. It is multi-control. Now this feature, as this explains, allows you to use the cursor and keyboard from any new Galaxy Book device to control this phone, allowing you to drag things between your devices, type into your phone using that device's keyboard, as long as multi-control, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are turned on both devices. As you can see, I have a stand here for my phone, and I use it right next to my PC, which is just over to the left there, and so it would be nice to be able to use my mouse and keyboard just to drag things over to my phone, maybe to search something on my phone if I want to watch YouTube or something. And if my PC was just a Galaxy Book hooked up via HDMI, I would be able to do that. This doesn't go much higher up on my list because of that restriction to Galaxy Book devices. I think it would be a way better feature if you could use it with any Windows device, just like you can with the next one. But just because of how cool and how useful it is, if you can use it, it's on the list here. So the next feature, as I said, can be used with any Windows device, and this is aptly named Link to Windows. It's something which comes built in on most Samsung devices nowadays. I think since about the S20, it is extremely useful. You can connect to multiple Windows devices, like my desktop, which is connected now, or my laptop, which is sometimes connected to. It allows you to sync contacts. You can turn on your phone's mobile data and use that. It allows you to use cross-device copy and paste, which is probably the most useful feature. It works extremely well in my experience. It copies over to the other device immediately, and it's so useful in so many circumstances. It allows you to take calls on your PC. It allows you to send texts on your PC. It even allows you to run Android apps on your PC from your phone. You can run multiple of those apps at the same time, although I'd recommend plugging in your phone if you're going to do that, because what it does is stream the apps from your phone over to the Windows device. Honestly, my favorite part about it is that it keeps getting updated. It's such a useful feature and such a versatile feature that I think it definitely deserves its inclusion on this list. Now, the next feature is something which is relatively new, and which surprisingly doesn't come pre-installed. It's another one which lives up here, and it's called Health Connect. Now this you should definitely install in most circumstances. So I have a Nest Hub, which allows me to track my sleep without having to wear my watch all the time. There are certain things which my watch tracks while I'm sleeping, such as my VO2 max, or my stress levels, or my heart rate, which the Nest Hub can't track. But there are certain things which the Nest Hub can track, which the watch can't, such as my breathing rate. Health Connect, which is supported by Samsung Health and Google Fit, allows me to take certain data, such as my heart rate data, oxygen saturation, sleep, VO2 max, and then write that to apps like Google Fit. I can do the same thing from Google Fit. It can read data including sleep, respiratory rate, and it can write it to Samsung Health. You can also see here Health Sync, which I previously used to sync my data between Samsung Health and Google Fit and Meta Quest. This app, Health Connect, allows me to sync all of that data, meaning I can open Google Fit and I can see, look, my last sleep, 10 hours 23 minutes from Samsung Health. It means that all of my health data is interoperable. I can open any of these apps which support Health Sync, and I can see all of my data collated from all of these different sources together. So theoretically, if you have a Google Pixel watch which uses the Fitbit app, you can download Health Sync and you can download Samsung Health, and then all of the health data from your Pixel watch will sync into Samsung Health with no compatibility issues. It's something which opens up the ecosystem and makes any Android phone, including Samsung devices, much more useful and work natively with many more devices. So the next feature is something which unfortunately does in some circumstances require you to pay money to use effectively. But to explain that, I will show you. It is the Microsoft OneDrive integration that goes beyond Link to Windows. The OneDrive is in Samsung Gallery, in Samsung Notes, in other apps. If I open Samsung Gallery, you'll see some terrible memes and a screenshot. But if I click on here, you can see I have Gallery synced with Microsoft OneDrive, which means all of my photos from my camera album, that's the only album I have selected, will be uploaded to OneDrive. I can use that to free up my phone space. I can sync user Wi-Fi or mobile data, and I can, as I said, choose which albums I should sync. Now this is extremely useful as I have a OneDrive subscription. It means I have 1 terabyte of storage, and that means that I can store basically as many photos as I want on the cloud. This also is useful in the Samsung Notes app. They sync with Samsung Cloud as well, yes, but syncing with Microsoft OneNote means that you can see them in OneNote and Outlook on the web. Again, you can choose which folders to sync and to sync them using Wi-Fi or mobile data, which is obviously very useful if you don't have a lot of mobile data. But this is extremely useful as it means that if you want to view your Samsung Notes on your laptop or on your PC, you can simply open OneNote or Outlook and they will be there. Unfortunately, you can't edit them right now on OneNote or on Outlook, but I presume that's a feature that they'll be working on in future. Now the last app which has this Microsoft integration, which I will show you today, is the Samsung Reminders app. As you can see here, once you sign in, you can see the Microsoft To Do section, which you can set as the default section for any new reminders. It allows you to set reminders using Bixby, or simply just by typing into reminders, and it will sync to Microsoft To Do, meaning it will appear on your phone and on your laptop and PC all at the same time. This doesn't require you to pay, nor does the Samsung Notes or Gallery. It's just if you don't pay, you only get 5 GB of storage. But Notes and Reminders don't take up that much storage. So, all in all, these, along with Link to Windows, mean that your phone and your laptop or PC will have much more interconnectivity and feel much more like an ecosystem than they ever did before. Now the next is something which may not be useful if you live in an especially hot area, but if you live somewhere which means that you have to use gloves, it's something which will definitely come in handy. It is touch sensitivity. So if I have touchscreen gloves on, it becomes more difficult to use my phone, even though they are supposed to work. It's not that bad, it's much better than the S20 Plus was. However, it becomes a lot easier once I turn this on. I can scroll easily on my phone, I can go to the home screen, I can pull down my notification shade without having to press down hard on the phone. It's something which I wish was advertised more, especially with the other phones, because at least with the S23 Ultra you can use the S Pen to be able to use your phone even if your gloves aren't even touchscreen at all. The 7th feature is something which again I wish was advertised more. If I open a game like Call of Duty, this phone is being charged into the battery, but then the phone is being run off the battery. This feature, called battery charging bypass, means that when you're playing games such as Call of Duty Mobile, the power will go straight into powering the phone. It doesn't go into the battery. The battery isn't being used. It's just there as a backup for if the cable gets pulled out. I have found that the phone heats up significantly less than my S20 did, even using Twitter or something, when I'm playing a game like Call of Duty or PUBG Mobile, using this battery charging bypass feature. To turn on this feature, you have to go to Game Launcher, you then go to More, you go to Game Booster, and if you scroll down, you'll see Pause USB Power Delivery. This is what you want to turn on, and I would definitely recommend keeping it on. Unless you really need to charge your phone and play a game at the same time, I would just keep this turned on at all times so that your phone's battery doesn't degrade as quickly due to its heat. The 8th feature is something in the camera, which is unsurprising considering how much of a focus the camera was for this phone. If I click on More and go to Hyperlapse, you'll see at the top here I can change the speed. If you change the speed to 300 times and then click this button here to turn on star trails, and you point it at the night sky, somewhere where stars are visible, then you will be able to see amazing, beautiful videos. I don't have any to show you because I cannot see stars where I live, but it produces some amazing videos. You obviously have to get a tripod to get this to work. It's something which requires your phone to be standing still for a very long time. 1 hour will equal 12 seconds, but the videos that it produces are amazing and are something which I didn't imagine would be possible to take on a phone anytime soon. Now the next feature is similar. You will have to download the Expert RAW app from the Galaxy Store, but once you do, open it or just go to More and click on Export RAW, and then click on this at the top, Astrophoto. Now the feature is both the Astrophoto mode, which you can change from 4 to 10 minutes here, and the Sky Guide. If I turn this on, it allows me to see what stars are in the sky. You can see Cancer is over there, the Lynx is there, Ursa Major is over there. Now obviously I can't actually see these because I'm indoors, but if I was outside, again somewhere where I can see stars in the sky, this would be extremely useful, and the results that it produces look beautiful. These are what I could produce. As you can see, it's just a wash of light from street lamps, but I will show you some examples taken by other people and they look amazing. So I'd recommend, if you live somewhere where you can see stars, that you try this out. Now the last thing on this list isn't really a feature, but it's so much better than it has been before that I just had to include it. It's the smoothness that you feel when using the S23 Ultra. Compared to every other phone I've tried, the smoothness of this is the only Android device which is comparable with iPhones. Now I can open the Play Store here as much as I want and it's always smooth. I can do the same with the camera app, even as it tries to load the viewfinder for this camera, and all of it is really smooth. They've seemingly tweaked the animations in OneDrive 5.1, and that combined with the massive performance upgrade you get with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, especially over the Exynos processor which we had in the UK last year, means that everything, even these nice animations you get with the Apple Music widget, are extremely smooth. It provides this nice iPhone-like experience which I have not seen on any Android phone except this one. Everything, I mean everything, is extremely smooth. With that, I'm at the end of my list. If you enjoyed my video, please go and watch the unboxing of my S23 Ultra or some of my shorts, and remember to like and subscribe to my channel so you can see when my full review of my S23 Ultra, which I have lots and lots of notes for, will be released. Anyway, thanks for watching and see you next time.